This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Thursday, May 3rd. I'm James Spann. Nice to see the rain across Alabama today. We really needed this. Tomorrow should be drier. Let's go to some of the Skycam shots around the network this afternoon. First off, coming from Trussville, little light rain falling there, northeast of Birmingham. Man, it is pouring in Tuscaloosa. At the time that image was captured, about 2:20. That's from the top of the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse. And down in Auburn, some pretty good tropical downpours today. All right, there we go. Look at the tropical connection on the water vapor satellite shot. This air coming up from really the Caribbean across the western tip of Cuba and the eastern Gulf up into Alabama. In fact, there's the precipitable water look earlier today, and you can see the precipitable water values up to over 1.5 inches over the Alabama-Mississippi border, and you can see the tropical connection there. So some spots have indeed seen some heavy rain. In fact, look at the rain estimates coming out of Mobile off their next rad. And at Daphne, on the eastern shore of Mobile Bay, we have one accurate report of 11.47 inches. That's almost a foot of rain. I mean, that's almost like what you expect with a tropical storm or a hurricane. Up this way, there's the radar at 222. A lot of rain falling over East Alabama, another batch over the western counties. At the time this image was captured, there was a small flash flood warning for parts of Hale and Perry counties, where it looks like over 3 inches came down there for a brief time with an almost stationary back-building storm. And yeah, forget the 80s. We talked about this yesterday. The model was trying to show like 82. There's no way. In fact, some spots barely out of the upper 60s. Up at Cullman, they've got 69 at 2 o'clock. Everybody else in the 70s. Severe weather potential for the rest of today and tonight. The risks are well to the north and west of here. Within that slight risk up north, there is an enhancement from near Kansas City up to about Grand Rapids, Michigan. That would include the Chicago area. So our friends up in the Midwest will be watching those storms carefully. Tomorrow, pretty much the same deal. Risks to the west and north. Also a slight risk around Chesapeake Bay, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, all of New Jersey. And day 3, and this is intriguing. The guys at SPC have thrown up this slight risk for a pretty good chunk of Alabama, all of Georgia, for the possibility of a northwest flow disturbance coming down the pike. And we'll see how that works out. It's very hard to identify those things 3 days in advance, so we'll dig in there in just a minute and see what the models are showing. This is the QPF chart, expected rain for the next 5 days. Now, this started this morning at 7 o'clock, so this counts the rain we had today, and this is valid through Tuesday morning of next week at 7 o'clock. And obviously, a lot of that is what came down today, but there will be some scattered showers and storms around, maybe late this weekend and early next week. Let's look. This is the 12Z GFS at 500 millivars. This is valid tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. And you can see how the ridge is beginning to shift a little to the west. That 588 ridge nosing up into Texas and Louisiana. We've got a light northwest flow aloft. And I think for us, the day should be mostly dry. I think we start the day with clouds. The sky becomes partly sunny. High should be in the mid-80s. Both the NAM and the GFS are printing 84. All right, Saturday as we start the weekend looks pretty dry. The thickness values are coming up a bit, so it's going to be pretty warm. We'll say upper 80s. The GFS is showing 90. I don't know if we'll make it to 90, but it'll be well up in the 80s. And look, there's enough moisture for a shower, but again, there's no big forcing for rain, no big synoptic scale feature. So anything that pops up should be pretty isolated on Saturday. And then Sunday, the moisture seems to be a little deeper. So, and again, that's that plume coming in from the southeast. So for Sunday, we'll say a mix of sun and clouds. And yes, the chance of a few scattered showers and storms. But scattered is the key word. It'll be hit and miss. It's race day at Talladega. If a shower happens to pop up over the track out there, probably won't last too long. I think we'll get the race in. Just be aware some showers will be around. And again, highs up in the mid to upper 80s. Monday of next week, the winds aloft are light and variable. The primary westerlies way up north, upper low sitting on the Canadian border, upper low near San Diego. And down below that, there's a surface low north of us. And again, a pretty decent little moisture axis. So that looks like a chance of scattered showers and storms, warm and muggy. And the same thing on Tuesday, highs in the 80s. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, a few scattered showers and storms about. And Wednesday, pretty much the same deal. And then Thursday, the model is kind of going in different directions every run. This run is not phasing up the upper low that's over West Texas and the trough over the Northeast to make a big phased-up trough over the east, and accordingly, it gets us into drier air Thursday of next week. That would be dry, a bit cooler, highs probably in the upper 70s, which is where we ought to be, with rain well up to the west over Texas. This is Saturday the 12th. A lot of people are trying to plan outdoor events just to peek at that. This looks somewhat wet. And the following day, Sunday the 13th, looks kind of wet. But again, this could radically change. There is little confidence in a specific solution out here. We'll check the end of the forecast, May 19th, 582 ridge over the Gulf Coast, and that would be kind of warm and kind of dry, if that happens to be correct. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And don't forget to watch us on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 on the live stream or on the television side. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless. The first thing you've got to understand, you cannot rely on an outdoor siren. You cannot hear those inside a home, a building, a church. It won't work. You've got to get something inside your house. That's a weather radio or maybe a smartphone app. We work with a company that's developed a wonderful weather radio app for Android phones and iPhones. It knows where you are, and if you're in a tornado warning polygon, you get the warning. And if you're not, you don't. It's an effective device, and it's a great way to be sure you get the warning.